From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm David Augustine. The third week of the federal election campaign is getting underway as party leaders rally across Canada. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is in British Columbia, where he announced a plan to fund recovery treatment that could help 50,000 people facing addiction.
We owe it to our fellow citizens who are still struggling with addiction to offer them a real chance to avoid adding to that terrible number of losses we've had already.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh was in Halifax this morning, promising to protect tenants through national rent control.
If any province or municipality wants federal investments, federal funds to build homes, they have to put in place laws that protect renters.
Liberal leader Mark Carney is in Victoria, set to rally later today. However, he spoke earlier with Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the UK to discuss the need to strengthen trade ties between the two countries. Well, tomorrow in British Columbia, Premier David Eby and Prime Minister Carney are set to discuss the launch of a Team Canada approach to support forestry workers in the province.
The meeting is in response to the latest U.S. decision on softwood lumber duties, a combined preliminary anti-subsidy and anti-dumping duty rate of 34.45%. That's more than double the current levy. BC Premier David Eby called the decision an attack on forest workers and all provincial residents, while Ontario ministers are sounding the alarm over a potential housing affordability strain for Americans. Eby plans to raise the issue directly to the Prime Minister on Monday, since forestry workers and their livelihoods depend on the jobs which are now being targeted by the U.S. tariffs. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
In Ontario, Ottawa police say they have charged a 31-year-old man with multiple offenses following an incident that placed an area of Parliament Hill under lockdown yesterday.
Police say a man entered East Block in downtown Ottawa just after 2:30 p.m. and started threatening those inside. Security officers managed to isolate the man in a screening area while police evacuated the building, which mostly houses offices for senators and their staff. Police say the man surrendered peacefully after hours of negotiations, noting no one was injured and no weapons, explosives, or other hazardous materials were found. He's been charged with public mischief and uttering threats to cause property damage. Lisa Laporte, The Canadian Press.
Hudson's Bay insiders have until the end of tomorrow to decide whether they are interested in making a bid for any of the faltering company's assets or leases. Insolvency Insider newsletter editor Dina Kovacevic says internal players can be drawn toward making an offer because of the price of the assets.
Why insiders would want to participate in the process is because they would be purchasing the assets at a heavy discount.
Hudson's Bay filed for creditor protection and has been liquidating most of its stores in recent weeks. And the Bank of Canada will release its Business Outlook Survey and Canadian Survey of Consumer Expectations tomorrow. The surveys come ahead of the bank's next interest rate decision that is expected on April 16th. The central bank cut its key interest rate last month to 2.75%. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, history has been made on the ice.
Right side to Wilson, centered up. Ovechkin has it, he scores! He scores! Alex Ovechkin scores 895! There's a new goal-scoring champion!
That was the call on WJFK after Alexander Ovechkin cemented his place in history, surpassing Wayne Gretzky for the most goals in NHL history. The Washington Capitals would go on to lose to the New York Islanders 4-1. The Toronto Blue Jays end their campaign in New York now on a 3-game losing streak after they were swept by the Mets when they lost 2-1 this afternoon. And Canada's Brad Jacobs defeated China 11-2 to win the bronze medal at the World's Men's Curling Championship in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. The Canadians scored 3 points in the first end and pulled away by scoring 5 points in the fourth. Canada's last title at this event came in 2017 when Brad Gushue was victorious in Edmonton. From the Canadian Press, I'm David Augustine.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.